Hello, students. I welcome you all for this session, which is basically for enhancing your reading skills. So, the name of the session is How to Enhance Reading Skill. So, here basically I'm going to share few strategies for enhancing reading skills. So, before I go ahead with the session, I just would like to throw a light on the session or the significance of this session. Lots of students they keep coming to me and they are asking the same question again and again, that ma'am, how to enhance reading skills, because probably they are not scoring really great in their mocks, or they still not feel comfortable with reading skills. And you know that this is one skill which cannot be ignored. This is inevitable. All right, because there are three sections which are based on reading skills. One is, of course, English language. Second one is critical reasoning, and third one is legal. So here you actually need to have a really very good command over the reading. Then only will you be able to attempt the questions correctly. So generally, when we see students, they are struggling with two kind of thing. One is and their basic understanding with the passages, and second is their understanding for the question. So at least one of the struggles can easily be eliminated. That is how to comprehend passages, how to enhance reading skills. And students have different kind of problems related to one problem, that is reading. All right, so I just would like to throw light on all those problems before I go ahead with the class or the session. So, bacha, first one is problems related to readings. So the first problems which I feel students have is lack of concentration or interest, concentration or interest. That is one problem. They hardly take interest in reading, they just read superficially or passively. Second problem is time management. Like, you are supposed to read and solve the question within the frame of 5 to 7 minutes. All right. So, maximum you should be giving time to one passage is 7 minutes. All right. And ideally 5 minutes. So, lack of concentration, if I talk about, then next is time management. All right, time management is another problem. They take so much of time in reading a particular passage, probably because they are not so comfortable with the topics. So, obviously, third problem is related with the topics. Students are not that much well versed with almost all the topics asked in the CLAT. We have got different genres, we have got different discipline to be asked in CLAT, like literature. Passages can be asked from literature, history, economics, science and technology, humanity, that is basically like sociology or political passages will be asked in humanities. Economics is one genre, and many more genres are there where students at times don't feel comfortable with. All right. So, topic. I think that is the root cause for all the problems. Students are not interested in reading. Probably they are not very much interested in a particular topic. And if they are not interested in a particular topic, it's only because they don't have much knowledge about the topic. So basically, I think the grass root problem is this topic unacquaintancy, that is unfamiliarity. All right. Now, third problem which students face in context to reading is passive reading. They read just for the sake of reading. All right. They are reading, they are befooling others that they are reading, they're befooling themselves that they are reading, but probably their mind is working somewhere else. All right, so passive reading could be one issue which students face. Then next problem is, of course, related to language. At times they are not so comfortable with the technical terms being used in the passage. All right, those technical terms can be from science, it can be from literature, it can be from economics. So sometimes they're not that comfortable with all these technical terms. And like philosophy, all right, so genre determines their comfort zone for language as well. So if you don't read something, that means you're not that acquainted with the language as well. So high time that we need to understand the basic terminologies of all kinds of genres and topics. All right. Apart from that, another struggle among student is process of elimination. How to, because normally they get confused between the two options. All right, so process of elimination is again one problem among students. So process of elimination can easily be done only if you understand the topic well and if you understand the question well. So normally the question hints at a particular option. But since you don't read question carefully, so you always get stuck between the two options. So these are the basic problems which students face in almost all kinds of examination. All right. Now let's talk about active readers and passive readers. Normally, this active reading is good for all SAT, CLAT, and other exams. All right, these are some international examination. Then CLAT is one of them, national examination, and this is good for magazine reading, brochures, novels, like passive reading. Passive reading basically is what you read for pleasure. All right, but you don't read it critically. So in active reading, you need to read critically, whereas if I talk about this passive reading, you read for pleasure. That is the difference between the two. Now, in active reading, you underline all the important points or you try to make notes. Whereas if I talk about passive reading, you just flip the pages and you just finish it off. All right, you don't read it critically. So, and above all, the first point, which is the most important point, that you turn your brain on. When you read something actively, your brain is also active. Whereas if you talk about passive reading, your brain is not at all that active. All right. Now, next types of readers. So you should ask yourself, are you a passive reader or active reader? Do you simply flip the pages? You think something else just by reading something? Whenever you read all those editorials in the newspaper, so are you actually involved in it or you just read it superficially and your mind works at other places? It happens with almost everybody at times, bacha, when you feel exhausted, when the topic is not of your interest. So you just read for the sake of reading, but you don't understand anything at all. So that is what we call passive readers. Whereas active reader, they visualize things, they predict things, they monitor, they make inferences, they use their prior knowledge, they connect personally, they set a purpose, they preview text. All these important things are there for active reading. I really appreciate if you start using all these things, all these as effective tools in order to be active reader. All right, so always try to use these as effective tools for becoming active reader. Abacha, now when you read something, so you should ask yourself what the topic is all about. Am I having proper research about the topic? If not, then you have to have research about the topic beforehand before reading anything else. All right, suppose if you don't know anything about CAA, what CAA is. All right, to start reading something, what is CAA? How does it work? When it is implemented? What? And then you can see that Google itself gives n number of options. So you always click and then you get to know about it, and then you can start reading a particular topic which is given in the mock clats or the actual clat. But in actual clat, you don't have any option, right? But in mocks, after mock, you can always analyze it that I didn't have prior knowledge of a particular topic, so I need to read something related to it. That is why I keep suggesting students that whenever they appear for any mock, all right, so a particular genre if they don't understand, so for the entire week they should set a target that they should read a lot related to that particular genre. Suppose philosophical topic you don't understand, so the entire week the more accent should be given to your philosophical topic. That means you should not ignore other genres, but again you should focus more on philosophy. The next week, if you don't understand anything related to economics, then that should be the target for the next week. Accordingly, you should work. And you should always ask whether the topic is debatable or not, what is the author's style of writing, and all such things. All right. Now, next is how to become active reader. So, bacha, if I talk about active reading, you can ask questions to yourself, you can review the text properly, you can connect the information with your, suppose like with you all can, you can always connect this all this information with your real life. All right. For example, if a topic is related to economy, any concept related to economy, so you can relate it with our own country, you can relate it with other countries as well, you can relate a topic with something else, isn't it? You can always evaluate the information, whether the information, what is the language, how is the language, Is the language critical? Is the language praiseworthy, like laudatory? What is the tone of the author? You have to evaluate the language so that you can attempt certain questions. You can evaluate the language because you have to attempt the questions related to tones, writing styles, and figures of speech. All right, predicting. You can always predict the information beforehand if you have got prior knowledge about the topic, and you can visualize it. Like I always visualize things. All right. So when once I was reading an article which was about Eurozone crisis, and then they mentioned about Buddhist Bank, then they mentioned about Federal Bank. So I immediately related those bank with our Reserve Bank. All right. So that is again very important. And if you're studying something about the business cycle, so you can relate that topic business cycle with any business. How does it work? How does it function? Isn't it? So that is the best way of getting completely involved with the topic. And if you understand the topic, if you are involved, then your understanding will be way better than anybody else. All right. Now, next, uh, here I just would like to mention a few points. Like CLAT, if I talk about bacha, in CLAT, they give you normally six passages which you're supposed to solve ideally in 25 minutes to 30 minutes. All right? And there will be 30 questions in CLAT. So that means you cannot go for multiple reading. So these are the don'ts which you should follow. All right, don'ts. What is one point? Don't go for multiple readings. That means you should avoid reading multiple time. Passage, single passage. You cannot afford bacha. You cannot have multiple readings. Second is don't write down full points. In order to make notes, all right, I always say that you have to be actively involved in the passage, and that is possible when you make notes. But you cannot write down complete points because you don't have time to write down complete point. So don't write full detailed points. You can write down the keywords. So these are the don'ts for enhancing reading skills. All right, don'ts. So when you talk about this, and of course, don't read a specific genre. Don't read from one particular genre. If you feel that if you're reading a particular genre, like lots of students, they keep coming to me saying that, ma'am, we are reading editorials, will it suffice the need of our reading? All right, I say no, because alone this editorial will help you out only in one or two articles, or sorry, passages, but not more than that, because they do ask many passages which are not very much there in the newspaper editorials. So probably one or two, at max two passages will hover around editorial page. Rest of the passages you need for rest of the passages you need to read articles from different websites. All right. Now, what should be the target which you should set for yourself? Every day, bacha, you should read, since the CLAT is approaching. So you should read minimum 10 articles and maximum 20 articles. 10 to 20 articles every day you should read. Now students will again ask me question that, ma'am, what are the sources for reading? That is the common question which I keep getting from my students. So bacha, here I would like to suggest a few websites, but before that I'll just share one beautiful chart with you. This is the chart. Bacha, you ever seen those big size chart papers in the school? Like we have on display in the classroom, display charts. Buy one display chart that is big size chart paper. Try to make such kind of this chart like date wise record. So first like December 1st, December 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and then how many articles. So the stars should depict the number of article you read in a particular day. All right, like history. Suppose December 1st you read two articles of history, one article of economic, four articles of science, one article of philosophy, two articles of arts and literature. Please write down different genres on top and then Indian context passages. Bacha, this is really fruitful strategy I'm telling you because maximum of my students they actually have reported me that they are actually like they achieved their target by following this specific strategy. This is very important strategy, so please do follow it. Now, how many articles have I read on December 1st? 3, 5, 6 plus 4, 10 plus 3, 13 articles on December 1st. All right, 13 articles. Now, second, 1 plus 4, 5 plus 9, 11, 13, 14. 14 articles on December 2. Now, 3 plus 5, 6 plus 10 plus 14 plus 19 articles on December 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so 7 plus 5, it is 13 articles on a particular day. So that's how you should be counting. All right, 5 plus 2, 7 plus 1, 8 plus 2, 10 plus 2, whatever the number is. 13 articles or 12 articles accordingly. All right, like this is 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 articles on December 3. All right. So that's how you should be working on that. Every day I'm reading some articles, every day and it is always like 10 plus articles. Any day if you feel that no, I have read only 5 articles or 6 articles, that means you haven't done justice to your preparation. All right. So the next day you should read more, like at least 15 to 20 articles the next day in order to compensate for the previous one. All right. Now, since I have written like history, economics, so you always have this question: what are the sources? Bacha, I'm going to share n number of sources today. Um, like the American Science, the Scientific American. It is basically for scientific discoveries written in lay terms. All right. So you are getting some knowledge about science and technology. Second is Ceylon. Ceylon is beautiful website, and normally you actually get debatable topics. That means trendy debates are going on in Ceylon. All right. So that's again one of the beautiful website. Now, religion dispatches. Basically, this is for philosophical writing. Religion dispatches. Now, for philosophy, again, I have written philpapers.org, which is written there. Philpapers, that's again for philosophy. So, we have got philosophy, we have got trendy debates, then The Guardian is for journalistic style. The New York Times basically is talking about anything but non-controversial topic. All right, or sorry, not anything, not but it's basically all about non-controversial. Now, Ceylon is for controversial topics, debatable topic, and New York Times is basically for non-controversial topic. Now, the Atlantic. We always get beautiful articles on Atlantic with variety of topics related to science, literature, economics, and anything else. Now, Science Daily, the word itself suggests the articles related to science. India Together will be all about passages based on Indian context. At least two passages will be asked in CLAT, which will be all about Indians or Indian context, which will cover this one aspect or genre, that is Indian context. All right. So India Together is one website where you read a lot about India. Then Aeon. Aeon, you find n number of essays, normally lengthy essays, but yes, it covers almost all kinds of topics there. So you can always enhance your knowledge by reading those lengthy articles, all right, or essays. Now, historytoday.com talks about historical passages, bacha, all right. Then Economic Times is not mentioned, I'm writing it here. Economic Times, the Economic Times. Basically, this website is for articles based on economics, So, bacha, these are the different varieties. Fill papers, as I have already mentioned, we'll talk about philosophy. So, we are getting history, we are getting economics related passages, debatable topics as well. So, actually, you're going to get variety by reading these beautiful websites. So, you can see that we are now flooded with so many websites, and we always have a number of sources for reading. So, your struggle is coming to an end. All right, struggle in context to passages. That, like, from where do we get variety? From where do we get different topics for reading, general reading, how to enhance my knowledge about different topics? So I'm suggesting you to enhance your knowledge by following these pages. Now, second thing is, bacha, I really don't appreciate students start solving passages and questions without reading much. So instead of wasting all those passages, high time that you please enhance your knowledge, update yourself by following these beautiful websites. And once you feel that yes, you have read a lot, then only you should start solving passages along with the questions. All right, students, I hope this session is going to be very fruitful. If you actually liked this session, please, you can click on like button. And that is all for today. Thank you so much. Enjoy your reading now. Bye bye. Take care.